Hello and welcome to Banking Frontiers Live. We are in for another interesting CIO conversation. And today I am having a conversation with the CTO of one of the most upcoming and talked about fintechs in the industry today. And his name is Vijay Agrawal, and he is the CTO and head of technology at Bharat Pay. Vijay, welcome to Banking Frontiers Live. You are anyways a cloud native kind of company. You have been using cloud for quite some time, and from public cloud to private cloud to hybrid cloud to multi cloud. Now, especially when people work in the area of security and things like that, and when there are so many clouds in which people are working, it can be hybrid or multi cloud. What kind of while Gartner says that security on the cloud is probably the best of the golden standards in the world, uh, especially from your side, how do you look at security when you secure yourself in a cloud based atmosphere and this thing? What is your perspective on how banks should go about?
So one thing I think Gartner has got it very right that today cloud providers have in place a lot of mechanisms. They've gone through enough certifications also to kind of give you a good guarantee, good surety in terms of how seriously they are taking security and how much they are doing for security. So much so that I would fully agree with Gartner that in today's time, on-prem is not more secure by definition. Right? I think it is false comfort if someone says that I am on-prem and therefore I am more secure. There are of course more things you could have done to make yourself more secure, but by and large, cloud providers these days have done enough number of things that a lot of on-prem people would not have done. And they've got certifications for those things also. So compliance is also largely in place. So my view on that is we are fully cloud native. We are fully onto cloud, and we make use of whatever facilities our cloud providers, and we work with multiple of them. They provide in terms of security, in terms of compliance, and we do a lot of things on top of that because at the end of the day, it is also not something that they can take care of it alone. Ultimately, the workloads are ours, the data is ours, the architecture is ours. So even if they would want to, they can't ensure 100% security. Ultimately, if we are building systems, if we are writing code, then it has to be taken care of by us. At an infrastructure level, they are doing things. At an application level, we are doing more things on top of that for our security.
Interesting, especially when it comes to organizations now adopting clouds left, right, and center. The question of edge or the popularity of edge-based computing has become much more relevant for the banking sector. And from Vijay, when I look at your operations, so till now you have been a great payments player. Of course, you must have all the top compliance procedures, processes in place. And compared to the bank, now tomorrow, when you compare the payments company with a bank, how different is the security or the kind of compliance as of now you have and where you have to move to? What kind of changes you think would be required in the near future to make that possible?
So we've been doing payments and we've been taking care of all the compliance and security aspects there. With a bank, we'll be doing a lot more than that. Like we're already doing lending, but that we're doing through partnership with third-party entities. Now we'll also be doing that. I mean, we continue working with third parties. We'll be doing certain things on ourselves also, uh, and therefore that aspect of security and compliance will also come in. Security wise, I would say we have a fairly generic mechanism in place. Of course, it will have added dimensions, but I think the fundamental principles of security remain the same. Right? Trust no one, give access only when strictly required, all those things, and always doubt, always test, and automate as much of security as you can. I think all those fundamental principles still remain, and they will help us to scale the IT aspects of security, and I'm quite comfortable with that. One thing where we will need to scale up is on the compliance part. Right? Now there will be a lot more questions asked, and for the right reasons. Right? We are not shying away from that. We will be taking up a lot more responsibility, and therefore we'll need to share a lot more information. We'll need to get a lot more validations done. So there will be a lot many more audits, right? And that comes with its own effort, and that is where we will now need to put up a dedicated team. I mean, we have a team right now. It's a fairly lean team because we have not had much because we've been only a payments player. Now that team is being beefed up, and that team will now take an overarching view of things from an audit and compliance perspective, and that becomes a first class citizen in its own right.
Interesting. And another thing that also organizations have been, and I am sure as a payment player, you must have also observed, is there are spikes in transactions suddenly. And at times these transactions go down. Okay. Especially during festive seasons or when there is an Amazon sale, suddenly there is a spike in transaction because more and more people are using this payment mechanisms or online banking and things like that. So, of course, organizations have been on one side, either they have invested in a full-fledged infrastructure, which is anyways scalable to handle all that, and many a times it lies redundant there. At the same time, there are also possibilities where they have put a SOA kind of architecture in the system where it is scaled as per the use. How do you try to handle these kind of spikes, especially, and at the same time maintain that level of experience and security?
So one thing we've done is we are on cloud, but that's not all. We are fully containerized. So we run very few workloads on virtual machines, and most of the workloads we are running on containers. And the benefit of doing that is that containers are much faster to scale than virtual machine, because spawning a new virtual machine, making it ready for serving traffic takes anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes, depending on what kind of application you're running on that. Right? So the first signal that you get that you need to scale up your infrastructure, from that to the infrastructure actually getting scaled, it takes 15 to 20 minutes, right? Which for a lot of applications is a very comfortable amount of time. But in case of spikes, it is not enough. It spike in a spiky scenario, you need to be able to scale up within a few minutes, right? Should be able to scale up to in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, max 5 minutes. And that is where containers perform much better than virtual machines, because containers are at the end of the day processes running on a virtual machine, and
Absolutely.
creating a new process is much faster than spawning a virtual machine.
Correct.
So that is one benefit. So and this is something that I often tell people that now cloud itself is more than 10 years old, right? We are not living in an age where we can say that if you're on cloud, you are on modern infrastructure. I mean, you can very well be on cloud and still be on a legacy architecture these days. So if you're not making use of the latest technologies, then despite being on cloud, you're effectively a legacy infrastructure. Right? And that is where we make it a point to deploy the latest tools and technologies that are out there in the market, that the open source world is creating for us and for everyone else. So using the latest architectural practices, the ones that are most suited to us, and that is where it helps us to easily scale. And to put things in context, right? We've now started seeing all-time high traffic on UPI. So we've had this COVID waves. So first wave traffic went down drastically. Second wave again traffic went down drastically. Both the times it has scaled up, and now once again we have surpassed the all-time high levels at an overall UPI level also, and in our traffic also. And we've been able to manage this growth with quite ease because of the underlying architecture that we have in place. We've done deep level designing in terms of which parts need to handle how much scale, and we keep doing load testing. We keep simulating those scenarios, right? What if we have to handle 5x of the current traffic, right? And we actually generate that kind of traffic and test our systems against it.
Interesting. Interesting. That is, see, that itself is a big discussion in itself, especially when it comes to payments and UPI traffic, and then sharing of data and things like that. Any interesting things or notice have that you have noticed, or probably a kind of wish list as a CIO in the banking sector, especially from an experience and security perspective that you have had, or you wish that it should come, or probably you think that is supposed to be adopted soon?
I would say, as a customer, I don't want to bother about security,
Correct.
and I think it is how every customer thinks that it is not my job. It is what I have hired you for, right? As a company, as a service provider, you got to take care of security, and I only worry about experience. That's how Jatin also put it, and very rightly so. So differentiating on experience is what ultimately every business tries to do. Unfortunately, security, because nobody actively asks questions, sometimes goes to the back seat, and then organizations try to hide it under the carpets. That when something is not being done right, something has gone wrong, organizations are not that forthcoming about it. What I believe in is that nobody can guarantee 100% security. Some things will happen, right? At an ecosystem level, I think I would love if we develop that courage, that honesty, to come up with the right information when something happens, right? And we learn to trust each other. We learn to trust our customers. We learn to trust our competitors also. That it will be taken in the right spirit, right? Nobody will try to make you a scapegoat, or will try to take unnecessary advantage out of that. But we need to act responsibly about whatever happens. Like, even if some incidents are not happening, being very transparent about these are the practices we are adopting, these are the new things we are doing, this is how we ensure your security. At least put that information out there in the public domain. Not everybody will be interested in going into the details, but those who want to know, they'll be able to have access to that information, right? I would say something similar to like every public company is mandated to do regular earnings calls to talk about their financial performance, right? How well they're doing. For example, banks are mandated to disclose their NPAs and all that, right? We probably need to have some kind of framework to bring about information about the internal systems, their health, and their scalability and their security. Have regular conversations about that also. Let every organization share this knowledge in the public domain.
Interesting. In fact, I am just talking to NSDL in the near future, and I read that all this information, especially about this data sharing, is going to get a lot more public, and it will be residing in the hands of the individual, how much of things he wants to share, or with the individual organization also in the future. Great. Thanks a lot, Vijay.